Well, let's talk about that short film. I know it's a documentary of your the rise of your fame, basically, and there's a price to that fame, and and that's another thing I think that sometimes when people like new artists, they want to get famous and they want to get all those listens and all those hits, and there's a price to that, and kind of talk about that price that you pay when you became famous, but also about the documentary and the story that kind of follows your career in your life.
Okay, the name of the film is Flowers in the Addict, the Bryan Abrams story, and it's a short film that's basically just me being myself, trying to be as transparent as I can, owning all of my mistakes that I've made that have affected me in a negative way, affected my career, affected my wife, daughters, friends, family. It hits on those things. A person thinks they know what to expect because they're watching MTV or BET like we did when we were kids, but you really have no idea. It's 90% business, 10% entertainment. It's probably the most brutal business I've ever been involved in because of, people say, well, you make really good money, you make a nice chunk of money for doing an hour and a half show. And I said, yeah, but you spend 3 or 4 days in airports to get there, dealing with delays, canceled flights. It can really put a strain on your body, especially when you get older. When you're young, it's fun. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I still enjoy it, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I also didn't know when I got into the business that I was going to be giving up my privacy. I didn't know about, people seeing you and thinking that they know you because of a song they heard you sing, or because of this persona that you have when you're doing your videos and they're promoting, it's really a tough business to be in. And unless you're ready to make some major sacrifices to be away from your loved ones, be away from your family, it's a tough business. Now, it's very rewarding. There's a lot of highs, but there's also a lot of lows. And I just wasn't prepared. I mean, we were from Oklahoma City. I grew up in Oklahoma and I had no idea what was in store for me.